What if I told you that you can build a AI model that actually can better than ChatGPT or Gemini on a particular domain? Okay, you don't need any high computational GPU or millions of dollars. You can actually build this using your computer, okay, in your local system. So in this video, we'll discuss one particular topic or particular concept in LLM that can actually matter the most. The concept is fine tuning. So what is fine tuning and how actually fine tuning needs? We'll discuss in this video. Fine tuning in AI is the process of taking a pre-trained model, large language model, and further training it on a smaller or more specific dataset to make it better at a particular task. So what does this mean? It means that retaining your LLM like GPT, GNME, you can retain it in a particular domain specific data. That is, we can say it fine tuning. Okay, you can use PyTorch, any other framework to training the LLM, and you can actually download the model and you can train it. That's concept we call fine tuning. Okay, like if you are like suppose that you are using ChatGPT or Gemini or any open source LLM, you can download the model on a local system, and because the LLM already have the whole knowledge, internet knowledge. Okay, just you have to retain it on a particular dataset like your organizational data or your any like you are going to build a software or chatbot that master at financial knowledge or particular one subject like chemistry, physics. So you can train that model on more physics or books or more physics related research paper, and to make the model more specific for this task like for physics, so that any question asked in physics they can answer rightly, accurately. Okay, that is fine tuning. This is very important concept because most of the startups they are fine tuning the model and they can build a business startups. Okay, on a particular domain. Okay, like you are seeing that on a particular model they have a more better than ChatGPT in terms of coding. Okay, so why do you need fine tuning? Training a massive model, AI model like GPT, Llama, Bart from scratch requires enormous amounts of data, like thousands of billions of trillions of parameters, tokens. Okay, huge computational resources. Like you need GPU and millions of dollars because you need. We know that to training a GPT model requires thousands of computational cost. Okay, and it requires a GPU, and for that you need millions of dollars. Otherwise, can't do this. But if you already train model, pre-trained model, you can retain it on a small data set on a using a small GPU, not very high performance GPU. You can actually do this. So instead, the companies first train a base model on a massive data set, like we already know that internet text, books, code, like GPT or GNME model. This base model learns general long language understanding, reasoning, world knowledge. They already have the knowledge in whole world. Okay, but for specific uses, we fine tune this base model on a much smaller, high quality dataset, focus on target tasks like financial domain. Okay, any domain, it can be any domain. You can fine tune the model for any specific domain. Okay, so how actually fine tune works? It works very easy way. The model already knows everything, like every have the knowledge. Like you can say, for example, like if you are in the class 10th or class 12 and then you take a one subject like you take a physics, okay, in your BSc or MSc, so you have a base knowledge on physics. Okay, when you get into a PhD in 5 years you have a knowledge in physics, not whole whole physics. You have a more knowledge on particular domain, one domain in physics. Okay, in PhD, because in PhD you're not study whole physics. You study focus on particular one domain, so you have the more knowledge on particular one domain in physics. Okay, just like chemistry. Okay, chemistry is three subjects like organic, inorganic, and physical. So you are doing a PhD in physical on a particular one domain. Okay, so you have a more knowledge on physical chemistry, and on then other than chemistry like organic chemistry or inorganic chemistry. So that is how. Okay. And then you prepare the task specific data. Okay. You create a data set of input and output example for your desired task. You have to record the data for retain the model. So you have the data. Then continue training. You train the model further, usually with lower training rate, lower learning rate on this new data. Okay, and the model slightly adjusts its weights, so it's perform better on a specific task. Okay. As a result, you get a specialized version of the model that is much better at your task while still remaining most of your general knowledge. Right? And this model, they have the more knowledge on particular one domain, like financial knowledge, because you are train the model on financial data set, and then also have the knowledge on general knowledge. Okay, like anything you can ask like ChatGPT, they have done also this knowledge. Okay, and more knowledge on financial related because you train the model on financial data set. Okay, so here's a real world example of fine tuning like ChatGPT turned model like most famous example base model GPT-3, GPT-4, thousands of high quality conversation example a human instruction, and you result ChatGPT model that follow your instruction, answer question, and it behaves like a chatbot. Okay, because you are need a model that more like a chatbot and that give the specific answer. Okay, so you can train the model on particular this data set, like medical AI assistant, for example, like Llama 3 is 30 to 70 billion parameter, and if you fine tune the model on medical textbooks, research papers, or doctor-patient conversation transcript or any paper documents on related to medical, the model that gives more accurate medical advice than ChatGPT. Okay, if you have this type of model, you can see that there is out there are many startups they are particular working on finance medical. Okay, because they are fine tuning the model, they are not building the model from scratch, they are fine tuning the already present model. Okay, like GPT, Gemini, and they choose one model and they fine tune them. Like code generation model like GitHub Copilot. The GitHub Copilot, what they read the general the billions of lines of code, their GitHub and problem solution pairs. They retain the model and they have more like Cloud Code. The Cloud Code have the more knowledge on code related things because they retain the model on particular one coding code. Okay, like image generation model. Also, you can stable diffusion, the 10, 20, 50 images of your own face or specific art style. Okay, the Studio Ghibli style. Okay, and the model can now generate images of you or in that exact art style constantly, and that's why the model can instantly generate the your art easily because they retain the model. Okay, that is the video. If you like this particular video and if you have want to know that how fine tuning works and what is the code you need to perform, we'll discuss in the future video. So if you like this particular video, please thumbs up, and if you have any query, please let me know in the comment section.